Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about hernia. What is hernia? Hernia is protrusion of viscus or either a viscus or a part of viscus through the wall of the abdominal cavity. To outside is called as hernia. So why does this occur? This mainly occurs due to the weakness of the abdominal wall or muscles. Now first we will see the classifications. Okay, the first classification for hernia is Nijhuis classification. We have a classification called as Nijhuis classification. According to this Nijhuis classification, type 1. Type 1 is indirect hernia with normal inguinal ring. It is indirect hernia with normal deep or internal ring. Okay. Then we have type 2. In type 2, this is also an indirect hernia with enlarged internal ring. Then we have type 3A. Type 3A is direct hernia. What is type 3A? It is direct hernia. Then what is type 3B? Type 3B is indirect hernia. Type 3B is indirect hernia which will enlarge enough to encroach the posterior abdominal wall. So indirect hernia will enlarge enough to encroach upon the posterior inguinal wall. So it will enlarge enough to encroach upon the posterior inguinal wall, and this is actually an indirect sliding hernia or scrotal hernia. It can be an indirect sliding or scrotal hernia, or 3B also includes pantaloon hernia. Okay, next we have 3C. In the 3C, this includes presence of femoral hernia. Okay, then we have type 4. Type 4 is actually recurrent hernia. Okay, if you see type 4A, it is recurrent direct hernia. Type 4A is recurrent direct hernia. Then type 4B is recurrent indirect hernia. Then type 4C is recurrent femoral hernia. Then type 4D is recurrent combined hernia. Okay, this is about the Nijhuis classification of hernia. Then the next important classification is the next classification which we have is Gilbert classification of hernia. So in the Gilbert classification of hernia, we have Gilbert type 1. Gilbert type 1 is indirect small hernia. Then we have Gilbert type 2, which is indirect medium hernia. Then we have Gilbert type 3, which is indirect large hernia. Gilbert type 4 is direct diverticular hernia. Direct hernia which involves entire floor. Type 4 is direct hernia involving the entire floor. Then we have type 5 hernia. What is type 5 hernia? It is also a direct hernia and it is diverticular hernia. Type 5 is diverticular hernia is type 5. Now if you see type 6 hernia is a combined hernia. In the combined hernia we have pantaloon hernia. Then we have saddleback hernia, pantaloon hernia. Then we have saddleback hernia. Then we have dual hernia, or there is Romberg's hernia. Okay, so in the combined hernia we have pantaloon hernia, sliding hernia, dual hernia and Romberg's hernia. Then we have type 7 hernia where you see femoral hernia. Okay, so these are the Gilbert classification. What are the risk factors of hernia? So if you see the risk factors, The risk factors are actually of two types. One, factors causing weakness of abdominal wall. Second, we will see in the next page. Okay, factors causing weakness of abdominal wall first. Second, we will see next. So, what are the factors which are causing weakness of abdominal wall? These include patent, if there is patent processus vaginalis in the baby or in the adult also, or if there is patent canal of Nuck is patent, or if there is prune belly hernia, prune belly syndrome where the abdominal wall is weakened, or if there is any connective tissue disorder. Any connective tissue disorder like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Any connective tissue disorder like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or then if you see presence of ectopia vesicae, all these will cause weakness of abdominal wall. And then even if there is any lower abdominal incision, presence of any lower abdominal incision, or defective collagen synthesis, or if the patient has any history of smoking or steroid intake. Okay, all these are the causes which will increase the intra-abdominal pressure. Then the second causes are the factors. Second are the factors which increase the intra-abdominal pressure. These are causing weakness of the abdominal wall. Now let us learn about the factors which cause increase in intra-abdominal pressure. These factors include if the patient has chronic cough or COPD, or if the patient has bronchiectasis, then if the patient has chronic constipation or any obstructive uropathy, like if the patient has uropathy like benign prostatic hyperplasia, or if the patient has stricture urethrae, okay, or if the patient has heavy weight lifting, if the patient goes through heavy weight lifting, or ascites, or presence of pseudomyxoma peritonei, or if the patient goes through pregnancy, or if the patient has goes through chronic ambulatory peritoneal dialysis. So all these will increase the abdominal pressure, intra-abdominal pressure. Okay. Now these are the factors which increase the intra-abdominal pressure. Now if you were asked some important one-liners, what is the most common type of hernia in males and females? Most common type of hernia in males and females is direct inguinal hernia. Direct inguinal hernia is most common hernia in males and females. Now if you were asked what is the most common, so okay, femoral hernia, if you see, where do you see femoral hernia? Femoral hernia is actually more common in females. Femoral hernia is more common in females, but the most common type of hernia in males and females, in both it is inguinal hernia. Then, so this is about the introduction, classification of hernia. Thank you.